Vein Ripper, vampires. The creature type that we all know and love that hasn't quite found a footing in Standard. But today, we are going to try to play sort of Grixis. It is Corpse Praiser. It's the only blue card in the deck. Other than that, it is Rakdos, vampires, and we are playing some spicy cards in Vein Ripper. Vein Ripper being a creature that has ward our opponent has sacrificed. However, when a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So if they're using a go for the third on this and they have a creature, it's at least going to deal 4 damage to them and gain us 4 life because the Vein Ripper also counts itself. Other spicy cards in this list that we haven't seen in a very long time is Markov Baron. This is a Convoke Lord for vampires. It also has Madness, which is a not an archetype, but an effect in Magic, in Standard at least, that we have not seen in a very long time. But if you discard this card, discard it into exile instead. Whenever you do, cast it for its mana cost and put it right on the battlefield, and you could do that at instant speed. So a lot of the tricks with this deck is making a blood token, sacrificing that blood token to discard a card, being Markov Baron, and then paying its madness cost to grow our creatures at instant speed whenever they attack and our opponent thinks they're going to trade, but instead our creatures end up just killing theirs and ours stay around for following turns. Or we can just Convoke it out and do the good stuff. We know what Convoke can do. And now we're pretty solid across the board. We got 8 1-drops. We got 9 2-drops. We have a ton of 3-drops. And a little Sorin in here to just be a little sneaky boy. He makes vampires and then has lifelink. And we can draw cards with this. And then Vein Ripper to top out the top end of our deck. So outside of that, let's go ahead and hop into the game. See how they go. And I hope you all enjoyed them. Alright, my opponent goes first. It's a little weird. I like it overall, I think. Give this whole card a try. See how it goes. Swift Spear. We good against Swift Spear? I don't know. I can put a 2/2 in front of it and have it get trampled over. That'd be very cool. 3rd Corpse Appraiser in a row is probably not the best thing I've ever seen. Monstrous Rage. Get it in there. Put me to 14 or something. I think it's like 13 for the Monstrous Rage here. Might even be more than that. I don't know. It's turn 2, by the way. I'm at 11. Never mind. It's way more. I'm at 11. Why? Why? Why is it like this? Oh, this one, I guess. Man. Nothing like turn 2, and they still have 4 cards in hand. If I told you by turn 2, you can set your opponent down 9 life, would you take it? I about went into some M&M, and I decided not to. I ain't trying to get striked, bro. Will they put a Wicked Roll on this Swift Spear and mess up? I mean, we take the big trade here. That has trample. We can kind of fight over the other one here. Even though we might not like to, but we can't. They're missing a land, which is great for us. This is weird. I just want lands. I want to be able to play Sorin here, and I need the black mana specifically to do so. And that can make a 2/3 lifelinker, which can help crawl me back into the game. I'll probably block no matter what happens if I get the choice. I'll block Godric no matter what if I get the choice. Ooh. What? That's it. I almost don't even want to play Sorin. I just kind of want to play the Corpse Appraiser again. But I think I just play Sorin here, make a 2/3, almost just pass my turn. Don't worry about it. I think I make a 2/3, and then I play a Corpse Appraiser next turn, and then I can play the Socialite. I can even attack and then put a counter on it. I can do it the opposite way. I can attack, hit, gain life, play this, put a counter on this, and then play the Corpse Appraiser. Just attack Sorin. Be my guest. I'm not defending Sorin. For nothing. Alright, so this is 2. Okay. Play. I'm going ahead with my plan here. I attack for 2. I gain 2 life. I play Socialite. This will then put a counter on my lifelinker. And I know. Don't get it wrong. I could play the other one and make this even bigger, but I think making a 4/4 is also very good here. Cut down's really good. I'm gonna take the cut down. Let the other lands go. Obviously, Vein Ripper could be on the horizon, but I think having a cut down to remove and just finish my board state here. I'm a 3/4, very good. Godric can get flying here. What? Huh? Okay. No block. 3, 4, 5. That's not how math works. 7, 8 block. Want to gain some extra life here, I guess. Of me, I suppose. Yeah, so 7, 8, 9, because this will die. I'll gain 3 back. Sure. Sure. Hey, look, it got flying. Yeah, so for me, it's a attack here. Gain some of that life back. I guess I can go searching. Just maybe finding my bitter triumphs better. Rid of this. Another land. The land's not bad. Play it. I play my preacher here. No, because I think I have to make. Pay 1 life. I'd much rather pay 1 life and hold up. Hold up my cut down here. What you got? Maybe my block was just way too greedy. And against red, you're not really supposed to be greedy, and I definitely was. Sure. Can't flip that. I think we can force him to block here. That off the board. Hey, yo! Can I kill them if they don't block? They can't block this, really. 4. This is 9. This is 13. It would be lethal. Yeah. Oh, okay. Mate, I was just doing math. I was wanting to try to do a cool combat trick. And you left. So if you're wondering what we can do with this Markov Baron, and maybe you haven't seen it before, who really knows? The Markov Baron has Convoke, but it also has Madness, which is a text that we have not seen in a very long time in Standard. But it's been in here for a little while. It just kind of went under the radar because vampires technically a lot of times haven't been considered good. But if you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, cast it for First Madness cost. Put it right on the battlefield. But what happens is when we go to combat, we can attack here. We can use this blood token, discarding the Baron at instant speed based on how they block. This will go in the graveyard. Then we can put it in for its madness cost, and then it would buff our entire board, giving our 4 or 5 more lifelink, and these going to hit for a lot more. Everything's going to hit super, super hard, but our opponent left, and that makes sense. But the reason I had to pause and hesitate because I almost blundered and just barreled this to remove this, which I think they would have to block regardless. Yeah, 10, 15. It's 15 exactly, so they would have to block with this, so they wouldn't have anything regardless. So we didn't have to get cutesy with it, but I decided to anyway. Go first. This hand's actually kind of really good. At least in terms of like, we don't have a whole ton of hands that can kind of just go 1, 2, and 3. But this hand can, plus we have a one-sided board wipe with it. So Boros Convoke. Please be Boros Convoke. Please, 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 please. I'm almost begging for it at this moment. We put this in. Put a counter here. Call it a good day. My opponent. I guess this actually doesn't have any value. It's actually kind of weird. No, his Boros Control. They got Sunfall. Oh boy. And this has to hit cards in my opponent's graveyard. That's from a graveyard. Very cool. At least I can use it here. I have land. I guess I grab a harvester here. Back. A day. Yeah, this is probably a very unfavorable matchup if I have to imagine. It's just guy control with sunfalls, lockdowns, lightning helixes, get lost, marches. None of it seems great for us. We'll go to combat. We'll just truck away, you know. We'll play this harvester. We'll most likely cycle away this vampire's vengeance, especially in response to a lockdown, because it's going to have like generally no value. Yep, like we predicted. Let that go. We have no real way to get rid of this, so it's just kind of going to have our creatures permanently. Best chance if they miss a land, they do not. I'm not going to allow for a setup here. I'm just like, I'm not gonna allow myself to set up where I can kind of attack with this and get value off the socialite. I think I just have to play it and go from here. Hope God, not no lockdown. It could just be a sunfall. It could be a wandering emperor even. For combat. Back. Surprise here if an emperor comes in. Yep, they've had every answer along the way so far. That is double lightning helix, a temporary lockdown, and a wandering emperor. Kind of our nightmare matchup. A little surprised not to see that get taken, but play a preacher. Preacher does not die to a lightning helix, which is very cool. But they now have the anchorage that they can block with. They got Field of Ruin. They got Ojitai. Sure. They're tapping out on that one, huh? Attack. They're gonna look. I don't think they have to reveal, right? Just any card? It's any card. So they don't have to reveal. One thing to know, if you're ever curious if a card has to reveal or not, a card that specifies a specific type always has to reveal. So if it's like, look at top 5, grab an instant spell, they always have to reveal. But if it says, look at top 5, put any one of those cards in your hand, most of the time you don't have to reveal. My turn, they leave that on top. Wild, to say the least. But now we get to do the combat trick that we love doing here. Back. They left this in play, is what I was implying is wild. Yep. So now we discard here. Discard the Baron. Baron says, hey, sir, would you like to cast me? And I would say, absolutely. And now we get to play this Baron. This goes out of that range. We hit again. We get a cavern. Do it. We name Vampire. Of course. Now we're cruising along the way. We have a pretty stable board. It looks like it's just hit me, Sunfall, call it a day. And then I'm going to play a Vein Ripper, probably get it removed, concede, go home, cry. At night, and pretend like everything's okay. You were told it's fine, but it's not really fine. Oh, they didn't pick it back up. They Sunfall and didn't pick back up their Ojitai. I'm a little more upset that we lost this game. Like, why would you not pick your Ojitai back up? Choose not to. Well, if that's the case, barreling this boy. Uncounterable. They can remove it. Does have Warden, they have to sacrifice their creature. Then opens up the floodgates of me attacking through. Price your creature. I guess they left it in, maybe afraid of Vein Ripper, because you have to have that creature in play. That dies. More here. Gain more, kind of. Now I lose some of my stuff to an Emperor, but I get to draw another card, so I'm perfectly fine with it. Maybe their only answer is an Anchorage, which they do get like decent blocks on, but I would be surprised if they actually don't maybe block something bigger. They don't have to. They're not quite that low. Go to 15. Go to 1. They're like, if you play an Epicure, I'll just lose. Like, one of these, you say? I am so surprised. Then they did nothing? What? They just gave up. Okay. Listen, I don't think we ever win that game if they have a Sunfall. Do you think that they actually gave up? Because they could have Field of Ruin. Right? Last turn. They could have Field of Ruin. They would have an island in the deck. There's like no way they don't have a basic island. Maybe they just didn't realize and they just cast Memory Deluge, because this will not warn you. If you put that on the stack, it will just cast it. And you'll call it a day. Or if you're not paying attention, it might warn you, but you throw it on the stack and most of the time you're like, yes, I'll take the damage, and you're just not paying attention. So I'm not sure if that was a I give up and I'm just going to put this on the stack and then die to my own Adhikar waste. But they had block with here. They had Field of Ruin, blow up a land, go get an island, especially maybe blowing up one of my caverns. But I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I'll take it. Very cool. Go first. We have Epicure, Harvester, maybe Preacher or Praiser. Very cool hand. And Blood Tithe Harvester with his hand is going to be able to remove any creature up to 6 toughness right away. Very cool. Got the blood token, and blood token. Runs off, maybe. Life gain? Oh, no. Well, turn up the heat, team. Get in there. Our opponent's playing Vampire. And what's her name? Show her. Let me see. The Vampire team. I mean, I have to remove it, I believe. That makes it even better. I don't mind losing 3 life here. Get this off the board. Yes. I will take that action. Most likely, my opponent's going to be at a higher life total than me, so my Preacher's not going to happen. Do I just Corpse Appraiser? Maybe. Been in this matchup one other time, playing the Vampires. And it actually worked out really in our favor, weirdly enough. You might be like, how? You know, they make a big 20/20. It's very difficult. And you notice I grabbed a land there. We put a Vein Ripper into play. And Vein Ripper, when their Amelia popped off, actually won the game because all their creatures died. Which is interesting. So this is going to be a 4/4, pretty unremovable. Pretty unmovable by us. Hit the lead. Oh boy. We do here. I have to play this. Comes in. Make another blood token. I'll play this. Make another blood token. Sting our opponent. So if they play 2 creatures this turn, this will grow up to 8 and be out of our range. Or be right in our range. So they have to play, they have to gain 3 different life. It's pretty close. I just have to let the Shieldred rock, though. I can't really stop the Shieldred. It's up to 6 against flying. I'm in Demon Dime now, that's for sure. I don't know what I have to draw here. I mean, that's a start, I guess. This. Get off the battlefield. Play my Preacher, I guess. Make sure his Shieldred can't attack me. They don't really have a whole lot of ways to remove stuff off the board. I just really have to find a land, but I don't have a thing to discard, so I kind of have to just barrel it. Could argue maybe I hold Preacher, but I'm hoping the Death Toucher will kind of hold the Shieldred back alone. If they get enough life, they can do the... Sure. And if I had Vein Ripper in, though, I've been so clean. But now their cases are going to be up. It is definitely a tough look for us. I think we just lose. Shieldred's actually devastating. Yep. Huh. Yep, they got it. They didn't play a Shieldred last time I played the match. I think if they didn't have Shieldred, they had pretty much anything else, I think we actually can come out on top there. But having our blood tokens just generically get countered by a Shieldred right into a Gix command is pretty gross overall. But it is what it is. We go first. Ooh, Sand's a little slow. I'm going to keep it regardless because it can kind of... It's like... It's weird. Sand's really weird. Because it's slow at first, but then, like, because this has Convoke and Madness, it can kind of turn up very quickly. But if I keep drawing 3 drops, it's never going to happen. But who knows? I'm not the author of the deck. I don't write the story. Gleeful Demolitioning? Gleeful Demolitioning? Whatever I'm trying to say. Casting Gleeful Demolition. Very cool. Empire? Let's let them commit more to the board. They might knight me next turn, which does suck. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of that. But like, if I can just get them to play like 2 or 3 more creatures, use up a lot of sand, because like right now this doesn't really do much. Like sure it does, but it doesn't. You should know what I mean. You should know. Come on now. Don't know. Like, how many times have you removed these and it's just not enough? Casing? See, look how much better this is. I'm surprised. I thought I was going to get hit with a case. Like, sure, Knight's good here, but like, just Knight's not. They tap all the, like, tasty ones. Wild. Can I? No, I can't. Make a vampire. You did. Would you like to trade? Got any trades? And I really just was trying to draw land, but don't you worry. I have 3 mana spells in my deck. Just so you're aware, okay? If you think I didn't have 3 mana spells, what else would I be doing here? I am surprised they're committing more to the board. I feel like that attack just said everything that needed to be said. Committing more to the board seems absolutely insane to me. Sure. Let me do this one. This feels good, you know? Sometimes you get them. Sometimes you get them good. Apparently we just don't know how to draw stuff. Find the land, please. Well, I can't be any more just like needy. I need everything. Give it up. Or like a 2 mana spell. Stop drawing 3 mana spells, honestly, more than anything. Now, I'm fine with it. No, actually. I'm just going to convoke this out. This is my vampire. You can't block the 4/4. Probably won't block the 4/4. Unless they do something crazy here. Yeah, they take a draw. That makes sense. What do we need? We need land. 1 drop. This. We need that. Attack. No blocks. This is way better as an attacker right now than a non-attacker. I think. I could be wrong. Who's to know? Attack. Here, make a 1/1. Very cool. I am going to try to almost min-max this turn. I'm going to play a Corpse Praiser, exiling another creature of theirs. Then grabbing land, please. Not another 3-drop. I promise, I have enough 3-drops right now. No, you have to cast it for its madness cost, right? Play another one. All right, Convoke. How are you feeling? I'm kind of the Convoke gamer now. I have a card with Convoke on it. That makes sense. But you not have enough. My walls are ginormous. We have a blood. We cycle and do the Markov trick. If you don't know, again, Maybe you skipped all the outro explaining. Do this, you discard this, you pay the madness during combat to for lethal. All right, the 50-50 deck itself, the vampires deck, which is very cool in general, but the 50-50. And one thing that I am considering doing, especially with the new set, with the lands that are coming out and things like that, adding the white in. Because if we take a look, I know I'm not really talking about the list right now, but adding white in just seems like a very good choice. And one of the reasons why is because we do not have a lot of card draw, and we do not have a lot of overwhelming kind of takeover that you really want whenever you're playing a creature type deck. For example, humans has Adeline. It gets really big and really tough. Other decks like that play red have Packle, which can go really wide, and then it grows and Inti and things like that. But for us, we're generally just like, whatever we are is what we are, and that's how it works, right? So what can we play in other colors that help? For example, like Welcoming Vampire, 3-drop, maybe not the best of all time. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under control, we can draw a card. This ability triggers only once. This actually would trigger off Preacher, trigger off Markov, and we already showed that we have a couple ways to kind of cheat this card in. Vampire triggers it. This actually does not, but even Epicure does. And Corpse Praiser will not, neither will Vein Ripper, but it is also like a 2-3 flyer that's just kind of got some good value, or we can go with this. I don't like this that much. I think this works way better in a Boros Convoke style deck. I don't think that would help us out too much in general. There's a lot of multicolored cards that kind of come into play when you add white comparatively to other colors. Like Amelia, for example, maybe we kind of pivot to a case strategy so we can actually buy ourselves some more time to get to these Vein Rippers and play a card like Amelia that's willing to hit lands and put it into our hand and give us a good time that way. Or we can even use something like this, where we sacrifice another creature, an artifact, put a 1/1. We have a lot of blood tokens that we make. This can do a lot of things. And then sometimes, even if we play a Vein Ripper, this can just end the game on the spot with sacking a lot of different things and doing that. We get access to Edgar. If we do that, other vampires get a 1/1. When this dies, returns to the battlefield, transformed, and then it makes more creatures. This card's like really good against control a lot of times. It's kind of why this will come in. But we can also try out Veto. I don't think Veto ever really got explored that much, but it's kind of tough. Whenever you gain 2 life, if this is the first time it resolves, sacrifice another permanent. Gain 2 life. If it's resolved the second time, each opponent loses 2. If it's third time, create a 4/3. And this works really well with the other Orzhov vampires that we've kind of shown thus far. But outside of that, that's really kind of what the white would add. So we can kind of talk about the deck a little bit more and maybe the direction we're looking to go here. One of the best cards that we've been playing thus far, at least that I enjoyed playing today, is Markov. Markov is this weird card that hasn't got play because vampires haven't been very strong. It's just a Lord, has lifelink, and is pretty much free. The main problem that we have is we don't use something like a Gleeful Demolition to produce a lot more creatures. We don't have a vampire that enters and makes another creature. Can't really use the blood tokens that well. So it does kind of fit this weird spot. But being able to discard it to a blood token, put this on the battlefield, and then also draw a card off that blood token makes us have a ton of value, and it helps us out in the long run pretty often. I do think another card that's been incredible since people have started playing it is this Vampire's Vengeance. We saw it against Convoke. We know why it's in the deck. Saw how strong it was. I've had it be good against Mono Red. I've had it be good against other decks that are low to the ground. So it's been very nice. Outside of that, I mean, the weakest part of the deck has been kind of like a little bit of the mana in terms of getting like consistent mana, at least today for me. Other than that, it's been kind of like not playing any removal in this spot. I would almost like going down and cut down and adding like maybe a Go for the Throat in there as well, just so we do have some answers to some bigger threats instead of kind of relying on us being so aggressive. I think most creature decks just can't do that in general. I mean, Blood and Tithe Harvester is a removal spell, but I think playing this, making a blood token, and then sacking it to remove a creature is just not enough value anymore comparatively to what it used to be whenever you're following that up with things like Fable and Invoke Despair. I think that's what made this card so good, because you couldn't waste your spell on the Blood Tithe Harvester. You had to make sure that you either had the counter spell for the Fable or you were ready for the Invoke Despair, things like that. Blood type Harvester is now really just a 3/2 that's good, but I'm not entirely sold that it's definitely not as good as it used to be with the deck archetype that it used to be in. And that's all I really got. I think Vampires is very cool. We tried the Vein Rip today, didn't really get there. We did a lot of Corpse Appraising, a lot of Markov Baroning, and actually we did this quite a bit as well. We saw it be very good in one of our early matches. Other than that, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.